Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over the new 2A's. Now if you guys recall, a few days ago we got an announcement on a new 2A, right? We got a single new 2A, which regardless, I love getting 2A's. I can't remember, how long has it been since the last 2A? Like a year? More than a year. It's been more than a year since the last 2A. But we got another 2A. It's the Harpus. We only had to wait like a few days. I mean, I called it. I did say we were going to get the event, and I think the other day I said it was going to be 3 or 4 days when we get the event. To be honest, I didn't really believe in that. I thought we were going to have to wait like a week or so, but we got it. It's here, and I held off from looking at the kits of these Harpus, just so I can get the reaction on camera. I mean, we've already seen Siren's kit, so I kind of have an idea. Like, I know, like, most of these units have the deadly dart thing, so they're all going to have the strip, I'm assuming. The only thing that makes Siren different is the Violent Friends thing. I'm going to have to grab the clip from the last video, but I made my predictions on what I thought the kits were going to be in the last video, so in case you guys don't think I'm lying about this, I'll see if I can grab the clips. But I made predictions for Colleen's skill 3, since we already know what the skill 2 does. I said that they would either have to do an attack bar push. I wonder if you could add crit rate to this, or if they're going to add attack bar increase. I mean, they're not going to do anything crazy with it. I hate to say that. But if they do anything with this skill 3, it's going to be adding like attack bar boost or something. Or obviously they would just go the generic route and add like a cleanse or something. But I thought attack bar pushing would be really nice, especially considering like where you're going to be using her. You're going to be using her in Necropolis, and having, you know, getting more turns in Necropolis is always going to be a good thing, because, you know, you have the whole shield thing, so you're having to sacrifice turns to get the shield down. Plus sometimes, you know, when they do the imprisoned soul thing, it can destroy your turn order. So you want to have more turns. That's plain and simple. You want to have more turns. So the only, like, we already know what skill 2 is going to be. Skill 3, I said attack bar push, but cleansing and immunity could also be there. I can't really imagine anything else, but let's just take a look. So of course skill 2 disturbs HP. Hold up. Wait, hold up. Wait, so they all have different... Okay, I know I looked ahead. They have different deadly darts? Interesting. So she has branding, the other one had freeze, and then this one has strip. Okay, I did not... I mean, obviously I wouldn't know that. Nice! Holy crap! So attacks the enemy 3 times. Each hit disturbs the HP recovery for 2 turns and has a 30% chance to leave branding effects for 2 turns. This is nice! For the places that you're going to use her, you're going to use her in Necropolis, you're going to use her in Rift Raid. Who knows, you might use her in other places now. I would have to think. But this is really nice. A branding effect in Necropolis is going to be really nice. And having that obviously in Rift Raid, which you will have her in your Rift Raid teams when you try to build your solo Rift Raid 5 teams. It's like nice. Absolutely nice. The branding is perfect. Fits her. It fits her perfectly. I think what I dislike about some 2A's and some like monsters is that you have their kit fit for specific dungeons. So it's like you're like, okay, this monster works really well in this dungeon, but you've added effects onto their kits that don't really make sense for what they're used for. So I was thinking that they were going to have the strip for this deadly dart, and I was like, oh, it's not going to really make too much sense, considering that the 2 places you would use her is Necropolis and Rift Raid, which you're not going to be stripping anything. There's no buffs to strip. So it didn't make sense. So I'm glad that they made this a branding. That was good on their part. I did not expect that. Fiery Dance recovers the HP of all allies by 30% each, and increases their attack power for 3 turns. Afterwards, increases the attack bar of all allies with full HP by 15%, and the attack bar recovery increases by another 10% when fully skilled up, which would be worth it, I think, for the skill up. Like, if you just have the spare Devilmon, which you most likely won't, especially considering the new Draken Warriors. I'm glad that I called it. It's it's a little bit, it's behind a little bit of a checklist, but I could deal with it because, especially again considering Necropolis, Shaman will heal your team with a skill 1, so more likely than anything you will have full health. And heck, Colleen will use this when you enter the boss stage, which you'll probably have full health there too. So it's good that if you do manage that full health, which is likely, you will gain more attack bar, allowing you to get out more turns, killing the boss faster. Really good 2A. Obviously we're going to use her, but it's probably going to be a very short video if we do use her in a video, like for Necropolis. But like this 2A, do I have to rate it? As a 2A, as a support unit, I'm going to give her like an 8 out of 10. Like, she doesn't just support her team in a basic way, like giving them an attack buff. She has she has an attack buff, healing, attack bar pushing, places branding on the boss, disturbs HP recovery on the boss, and then weakens attack power. She definitely helps her team out a lot, which is obviously what you want in a 2A. I mean, if you're looking at a unit and you're like, should I 2A them? You're going to find some units that are questionable because, their skills just are like, if you're having to sit there and question it, it's already a bad thing. I'm rambling. Why am I rambling? You don't have to question her. She's clearly a good support. She's worth the 2A. Yeah, I think I would have to figure out where she would go. Like, I need to make a list of monsters that should be at the top of your list of 2As. Like, who's first, who's second, who's third, da-da-da-da. She's definitely going to be somewhere on that list because she's definitely going to be a unit worth 2A now, especially when you're entering Necropolis. On to the next one. I'm wasting a lot of time talking. For Cicero, I believe with this one, what did I say? I'm assuming this one, decrease attack speed. It's probably going to add attack bar reduction, or it's going to add a strip, which would be nice. So double strip on this, that would be pretty useful. Each one has a 50% chance to decrease the target's attack speed. I think I also mentioned attack bar reduction here. I don't quite remember what I mentioned here. It was either that or possibly an AoE strip, like a strip into a slow, maybe. I can't quite remember. Obviously, we know this one turns into a freeze. So this one attacks the enemy 3 times, each disturbs HP recovery for 2 turns, and has a 30% chance to freeze for 1 turn. Not bad. It is what it is. It's not the most exciting skill in the world, but who knows? Maybe her third skill helps complement the second skill, because the second skill by itself isn't really nothing to me. I mean, disturb HP recovery and then freeze for 1 turn, whatever. I mean, you could so easily violent proc out of that. But skill 3 attacks all enemies 3 times. Each hit has a 40% chance to remove a beneficial effect. Called it. Remove 1 beneficial effect, and has a 40% chance to decrease attack speed for 2 turns. Afterwards, absorbs the attack bar of the enemies with decreased attack speed by 20% each. Wow. Holy moly. Macaroni, I don't know. Holy moly macaroni. AoE multi-hit strip. So each hit has a chance to strip. And it's not a bad. 40% chance is not bad. And then places attack speed decrease. And then absorbs the attack bar of the enemy with decreased attack speed by 20% chance. And I guarantee you, this is like, I want you to think of Gene the Fire Phantom Thief. Gene the Fire Phantom Thief has his passive, which we will actually go and look at real quick. I know, wasting a lot of time, but he has this passive here where he deals, what was it? He increases his attack bar by 50% when the enemy target is defeated or stunned after an attack. And you got to read a little bit in between the lines. After his attack, as long as the enemy is stunned, he will gain 50% attack bar. It doesn't state that you have to be the one that stuns them. They just need to be stunned after the attack. So I'm thinking that with this, I need to test it, but afterwards absorbs the attack bar of the enemies that with decreased attack speed by 20% each. I wonder if it's 20% each hit, or if it's just straight up after the attack in general. And another thing is, if you could place an attack speed slow, let's just say you have like Shannon, for example. You use Shannon, and Shannon places an AoE attack speed slow, and then you use this third skill. She will still do the attack bar absorb, correct? because the slow is already on there. It doesn't matter if she's the one who does it, as long as afterwards the enemy has a slow, right? So I'm curious about that. Like this as well. The skill 3 is beautiful. AoE strip, multi-hit strip with a slow and an attack bar absorb. This one, disturb HP recovery and freeze. I kind of wish this was a strip as well, but the freeze is all right. She's really pretty decent crowd controller. I don't know how I feel about her. I'll give her like, I don't know, a 6, 7 out of 10. Maybe I should give her a higher thing, but I don't know. I would need them. I want to mess with her. I want to get my hands on her. Jokes aside. Seal. Gosh. I put continuous damage and stun. I believe one of the things I said was guarantees a stun or something after the dots or something. I can't remember what I said for this. I'll play the clip now. I'll definitely have to go back and find the clip. And then skill 3, attack all enemies, reduces their attack bars by 40%. I believe I said for this one, for them to add an attack speed slow, potentially. I also might have set the strip thing here too, but I'm not quite sure. Let's just go and take a look. Inflicts continuous damage to all enemies and stuns them for 1 turn with a 50% chance. So they've essentially just removed the... I mean... Okay, so this is now an AoE, which is not bad. Stuns them for 1 turn. I won't argue against it. I kind of wish it was for 2 turns, but it is what it is. Not a bad skill 2. AoE, crowd control with dots. And you know there's a lot of defenses out there that use dots, so this is a nice skill 2. Again, skill 3, attack bar, reduces attack bar. Well, I think, if I'm thinking about it now, before I even look at this, reduce attack bar, more dots on the skill 3, since it seems like this is the route that you're going. More dots on the skill 3. Potentially strip, potentially stun, I don't know. It seems like you're going all out with skill 3s over here, like with her skill 3. So, have the attack bar reduction, potentially a stun if the attack bar hits 0. But throw dots on here. Attacks all enemies to decrease their attack bar by 50% and inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns. Okay. Figured. They're going the dot route. So, she could work. 3 turns, 4 turns. You could throw this on, like, a defense team. Like, what was it? Who's the... Nora? Is it Nora? I don't know. We're not going to get into this. Because I'm gonna sound like I'm speaking nonsense. I don't think we talked about Sia. This is going to be the same, I assume, as the previous one that we had here. Stun. Unless her skill 3 looks a little different. Brings out friends, and attacks 6 times and decreases their attack bar by 20%. Huh. Dots, and then multi-hit and attack bar decrease. I wouldn't be surprised if they had this become an AoE and then have attack bar decreasing with the dots. And then skill 3, I don't even know why for a second I thought it would be an AoE multi-hit, but I think you're just probably going to have the same thing that you did with Saren, and where, what was it? You have, like, her bring allies with her, and potentially have her allies have that, like, do, like, a little bit of a Crow thing, to where, you know, like, Crow does the increased damage, and then his allies will also do an increased damage. Kind of have it here, maybe. Have the allies have a chance to decrease attack bar. I don't know. I'm curious. Never mind. You didn't change skill 2. You changed skill 1. So you're probably going to have a defense break and an attack break. Attacks enemy 2 times. The first hit decreases defense. Second hit decreases attack power. Never mind. So skill 2 stays the same. This is... Depending on the skill 3, this is a stupid skill 2. Passive. When using a skill on your turn, attacks the target 2 or to 3 more times each, absorbing the attack bar by 10%. Whoa. So 2. So you're talking about I could attack on this one. Like, this could be anywhere from 4 to 5 hits on skill 1, and then this could be 3 to 4 hits, I'm assuming. Each absorbing the attack bar. So you get... Wow. This is kind of like a mini Lauren. Mini Lauren but with it attacking, I mean, she... interesting. And she would be able to apply a good... No, well... I wish she would have at least made this AoE. Like, her first skill with this passive looks nice. But the skill 2 just doesn't mean anything to me. Unless, I mean, obviously I'm going to assume that these extra hits also apply these additional effects. Like, these extra 2 or 3 hits, as well as doing the attack bar absorb, are also helping place dots, right? Like, you're telling me that she has a chance to place continuous damage for 3 turns, like, 3 or 4 times? Or whatever? When using a skill on your turn, attacks the target 2 to 3 more times. So, attack bar reduction and then like 3 to 4 dots, right? If that's the case, then very interesting. Again, I want to mess with you. And then we already know what Saren does. I mean, attack break, strip, disturb HP recovery, and then multi-hit on your skill 3 with the defense break, and then calls on 2 to 3 allies to attack together. We will definitely be messing with Saren probably tomorrow or the day after, who knows. But I'll tell you what. Colleen called it on Colleen's skills. Like Colleen is really good. Cicero was really interesting. Really interesting. She actually surprised me. I actually like her kit. Seal is actually pretty interesting too. Really big AoE dot unit. Again, we're gonna have to test her. Sia is very interesting. I'm not sure about her. So I can't remember what I gave Colleen. I think Colleen was an 8 out of 10. I believe so. Whatever. It's an 8 out of 10 now. Really good support. She doesn't just buff her team, but she also is a big detriment to enemies. Disturb HP recovery, branding. Perfect for the areas that you're going to be using her in. Perfect for Necropolis. Perfect for Rift Raid. Really good support. She does her job, and that's all that you can really ask for. Cicero is going to be a very interesting unit. I believe I gave her a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give her a definite 7 out of 10 for now. The skill 3 is pretty big to me. And depending on how I could utilize the skill 3, I might increase her score later. But 7 out of 10 for now. I know, you hate me. Seal is a little underwhelming. Maybe a little bit. I mean, this skill 2 is nice. She's definitely going to be useful, I think, in TOA for sure. I mean, other than arena defenses that I mentioned earlier, TOA, AoE continuous damage and then stun is going to be nice. And then decrease attack bar and then more dots. I mean, great crowd control, good dots. I mean, not good dots, but she has dots and good crowd control. Perfect for TOA. I'm going to give her 6.5 out of 10. They're just better dot units, better crowd control units, but you never know how she's going to perform, I suppose. Who knows? Sia, depending on how I'm interpreting her skills, I think while her skills are interesting, it's just like skill 1 can be anywhere from 4 to 5 hits with attack bar absorb, defense break, and attack break. Now that I think about it, you know what? I'm going to take a leap of faith with this. I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10. She reminds me of Lauren a lot, but the reason I don't like her too much is while her skill 1 I think is good, especially with her passive, her skill 2 seems so stupid to me. Why is it still this? Like, you would expect them to change that a little bit. Like, they could have changed all 3 skills. I like skill 1 and skill 3, or the passive. Like, the passive is really nice. But even 10% attack bar absorb is, maybe, actually, I would like to throw this sucker on triple revenge, because it's absorb, so she's increasing her own attack bar. Oh my gosh, I need to mess with her, dude. I'm giving her a 7.5 out of 10, and I'm iffy on that. I really want to mess with her. I need to test her. I need to get my hands on her and just throw on a bunch of different runes. But iffy about her. And Saren, I like Saren. I'm using her on my LD only account, and the fact that they added a strip. The strip don't necessarily mean too much to me, but the third skill does mean a lot to me. It's going to be great for LD only accounts to use this on whatchamacallits, Necropolis. I could see her being used in a couple other spots 2. I mean, you could use her. I mean, you're not going to use her in Dragons, but Strip, multi-hits, you're going to probably use her in other places. But for me, all I'm thinking about for her is Necropolis. Solid 7 out of 10 for me. A lot of these units are pretty good. I liked Colleen the most. She's really doing her... She's filling in her position. That's all I got to say, though. Do you think I rated them awful? Do you think I'm overrating units like Colleen? And do you think I'm underrating other units like Sia? Who knows? I like all the 2A's. All the 2A's, I think, have their own uses. I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on them and touch... God, pause. Tell me what you guys think, in the comment section. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.